With a little information and care, you can keep your festive poinsettias and Christmas cacti blooming year after year. So joining us with tips, we have the master gardener himself, the green thumb guru, Mr. Ed Sourdiffe. I think the most pressing question, though, and I didn't prep you or tell you I was going to ask you this, poinsettia or poinsettia?
I think that's tomato, tomato.
Potato, potato kind of thing?
Yeah, I just call it a poinsettia.
But it's more than just poinsettias this time of year, because that's the plant that everybody associates the holiday season with. There's so many great plants.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of plants out there that they're putting out for the holiday season now. Well, I'll start off with the smallest, perhaps, that's out there, and this little guy right here with the cardinal in it is called a frosted fern. It's really not a fern, actually. It's a type of spike moss.
Huh.
But just like a fern, it would probably like a little bit more water than other plants. So that's a good way of knowing how to work that. And actually, the way they call it frosted is if you look at the tips, it looks almost like there could be snow on it or something.
Yeah.
But that's just a variegation to the leaves.
That's a really gorgeous plant. I don't
Yeah.
say that often. I like that plant. And what else do we have over here?
We have cyclamen here. There's actually two different types. They're both miniature cyclamen, but you can tell this is a regular type of cyclamen, just the regular petals. This one's actually a little bit more intricate. This has little frills to it. And even the leaves, if you looked up close, they even have a little, almost like somebody took pinking shears or something and cut the very ends of it off.
Yeah.
There. So these are actually very easy to take care of. The frosted fern, if you're going to have it at home, you're going to want to have it in indirect light, like a regular fern living in the bottom of the forest.
Now, when you say indirect light, does that mean, not on the windowsill, but maybe on the table that's near a window?
Yes, but also you could do it in a north window, a west window, or east window, just as long as it's not a south window where the sun comes beating in on it. It wouldn't like that at all.
So you need to get your compasses out to make sure that you have an appropriate window.
Yeah, or move it in like you said.
That's not a bad idea either.
So then this guy, you'd actually want to keep him moist all the time, and if you could, he likes a lot of humidity, so put him on a tray of pebbles and water the pebbles, and then that brings more humidity in the air for that plant.
Well, that brings me to my next question, because these, it seems to me, I'm not a watering expert, but it seems that they're difficult to water because you can't get through there and you'd spill all around. What's a good way to water these plants?
Okay, well, all of these plants, you really don't want to have them soaking in water. So these foil bottoms here will actually keep the water in there, protect your tables and things like that. So if you're going to water it, any of these plants, you'd want to water it, and then you want to take it out of here, and you want to drain out the water later on.
We don't want standing water near the plant.
Yeah. And actually, a cyclamen you water a little bit a different way to actually make the plant healthy. You would bottom water that. So you would take the plant out of here, and then you would just, if you want to pour a little water into this bowl here, just like halfway up.
Halfway up? Sorry.
Yeah, halfway up. And then you just put that right in there.
You just soak it for a few.
And you just let it soak, and that's going to bring the water up from the bottom. And there's a tuber in here like a potato, so it doesn't really want a lot of water on the top that might rot the tuber.
Interesting. So how do you know when to take this out?
After an hour, you can take it out and then let it drain so there's no extra water in there. And then you can put it back in your ornamental covering if you'd like.
But unlike in this example that we just did, we do want to let it drain out so that this doesn't have standing water in it.
Yes, none of these plants really want to be in standing water. No, none of these plants are like evolved in a swamp. So, just like you wouldn't want to be in a pool all day long.
No,
all
I get
night.
pruny.
Yeah, you wouldn't like that.
Don't
So
like
you
that
want
at
some
all.
dryness too.
Now, Ed, later in the show, because we have so much more to cover, what are we going to do? Give us a little preview.
Okay, we're going to talk about poinsettias. We're going to talk about Christmas cactus and how to keep them and have them rebloom.
And how to unwrap if you get a poinsettia gift.
Yes, so you don't break anything. Like this one here had a little mishap, so you can see it's already wilting because that stem broke.
So all that and more with the Green Thumb Guru himself, Ed Sourdiffe, a little bit later on the show. Also coming up today on the show, do you want to feed a family